Brothers and sisters, so the latest article coming out of Israel says we are in the time of Messiah now. Yeah, go figure. Duh. The ancestry of the Messiah in Jewish sources. In a recent blog post, a rabbi explained the ancestry of the Messiah in great detail according to Jewish sources. According to them, King David was precisely the midpoint of human history, which means that the culmination of human history and the Messianic era is expected at any moment. Now, this is a big admission on their side, since their dates are so out. They need to add their missing years, 210 years, which brings them to 5999, the very verge of the 6,000th year. But publicly, they won't just do that yet. Rabbi Ephraim Palvanov, a teacher and author, writes that the Messiah is a product of the covenant and therefore expressed through the inheritance of the land of Israel. Inheritance of the land is determined by the patrilineal tribal entity which determines the identity of Messiah. It's Yeshua, people. Yeshua, Jesus. You're going to realize it shortly. Rabbi Palvanov explained that the identity is essential to the land. One of the tasks of Moshiach, Messiah, is the ingathering of the exiles to return the Jewish people to their land. Ultimately, that's also how you know if a person is successfully the Messiah. He's talking as if it's an audition and multiple people can do it, because ultimately the rabbis believe that there is always a Messiah ready in every generation. Some Christian teachers also believe there's an Antichrist ready in every generation. I am not of that school. I believe there's one Messiah, that is it. And I believe there's one Antichrist. There's a lot of shadows of him, but the times, the way God's worked out everything mathematically, is not just for chance or for mankind to decide when it's time. There is a clock, and it works for a reason. Many have claimed to be the Messiah throughout history, but none have fulfilled the tasks that Jewish tradition teaches the Messiah is supposed to fulfill. Chief among them is the ingathering of the exiles. This is because Torah cannot be fulfilled outside of the land of Israel. They're really misunderstanding their own teachings. In addition, the work of Moshiach is done in Israel, building the third temple, the war of Gog and Magog. He's describing Antichrist here. Antichrist is going to help them build the third temple. The war of Gog and Magog is definitely upon them. In this regard, the Messiah is identified with the tribe of Judah. Got that one right. As per Jacob's blessing of his sons, implicit in the blessing of Judah is that the dynastic monarchy will come through the tribe of Judah, personified by King David. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet. So the tribute shall come to him, and a homage of people will be his. Genesis 49 verse 10. Speaking of the time Messiah will rule the 1,000 years. This is fitting, as the descendants of Judah today are the Jews, who are the only living descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the rabbi said. The genealogy of Messiah implies a time frame. Adam is an acronym for Adam, David, Messiah, Rabbi Palvanov said. These three personalities encapsulate human history. The soul of Mashiach was contained within Adam, who foresaw that David, the progenitor of Messiah, would be stillborn. So he gave 70 years of his life to David, who lived 70 years, while Adam lived 930, though he should have lived 1,000 years. Now you see, this is where their tradition becomes twisted and lost in man's wisdom and man's thought and trying to be important amongst your peers. That is not at all the case. David was not going to be stillborn. There's no biblical basis for that. David was meant to be and called by God and important to the end still. And Adam didn't live the 1,000 years because he had to die the same day that he ate of the fruit. 1 day is as 1,000 years. He didn't make 1,000 years. And we'll cover that in a different video. But it shows you how they get twisted up in their own rationale and righteousness and thinking. According to Kabbalah, King David was precisely the middle point of human history, he said. From Adam to David is precisely the same amount of time as it has been from King David to right now. We are literally in the time of Moshiach. Now, what they are getting right here in this article is yes, buddy, we are in the time of Mashiach, Messiah, right now. Within the next 7 years, it'll all be done and dusted. You can choose to turn to Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, right now, who was here the first time as a suffering servant and to bring light unto the world and feed his sheep. And he's coming again as the Lion of the tribe of Judah in victory, with his bride, who he's removing any time now. Mark your calendar. Lots of free houses and cars and things going to be standing around. Grab them before the government does. So get tight with Christ, and I pray that many, many more Jews, especially the rabbis and the teachers that are so wrapped up in the law and their own righteousness, will have God appointments and wake up and have scales pop off their eyes so they can influence even more of their students before the time arrives any second now for rapture of the church. God bless. Keep praying for Israel. Shalom.